I have a COVID dreidel I have to spin on Zoom. I'm hoping that this virus vaccination will come soon. Oh, COVID, 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 you've ruined every day. We can't gather to party and we can't gather to pray. Hold on a Hebrew minute, this might work out for me. There's no one playing with me, so I get the whole pishki. Oh, COVID, 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 this Hanukkah's alright. At least I've got the Rosenbergs to laugh at every night.
If you've been paying attention as you light your candles, or as you're watching us light ours, you know there's more to ponder in this season than the simple dichotomy of darkness and light. Nor are we comprised merely of mundane earth human and divine soul. What is attached to light wherever it goes, always connected, yet leaning toward the dark? The shadow. Shadows are terrifying to animals with poor depth perception. They view shadows as a predatory other and flat out panic when asked to confront that darker space. We spend a lot of energy worrying about other people's shadows without turning to confront our own. And when we're called on this, we panic too. In psychology, the shadow is the disowned, unacknowledged self. It's a motley golem of primitive impulses, shame, denial, and inferiority. It's the part we're afraid is unlovable because we don't even know how to love it. But it's with us wherever we go. Left leaning toward the dark, unconfronted and unembraced, our shadows loom up behind us. They feel larger than life. Unprocessed shadows are the root of our weaknesses. They keep our gifts small and dim and our purpose unfulfilled. Shadows are made up of some light, however. Remember the things you used to really love until you were mercilessly teased about them? Remember the quirks that were uniquely you, that you quelled in order to be popular, or because an authority figure labeled different as bad? You repressed them. But they're still part of shadow you. Here's a fun connection. Hanukkah is about the monotheistic Jews reclaiming their identity and their space against Hellenistic forces, right? The ancient Greeks, many ancient civilizations surrounding Israel actually, were pantheistic, many gods. And for them, each of these gods and goddesses was not an actual divine being, but a manifestation of some aspect of the human psyche that needed to be acknowledged, respected, and confronted. So, how did these cultures deal with shadow work? Well, for the Greeks, the answer lay in external worship and internal power. If you're an ancient Grecian, you travel from temple to temple, giving offerings and doing penance to appease various factions of the natural world and your psyche. There's even a goddess named Psyche. That done, you can then focus on personal achievement and empowerment through military prowess, superior intellect or artistic skill, sexuality, or physical strength. A Jew goes to one temple to acknowledge the divine source of everything around and within them. Adonai Echad, God is one. God made everything. God made me. My soul came from God, and therefore my life is dedicated to service in order to achieve unity with that divine source. The trick is, for the Jew, one source is responsible for everything, good and ill, light and dark. God must then also have appointed the shadow, and so it too is holy, and we must incorporate it into union. Namaste and shalom. When we see something in others that we ignore in ourselves, that's called projection. It's our ego's handy way of shirking personal responsibility. Judaism is anti-projection. The entire religion demands that we examine ourselves before judging or laying blame on anyone else. We're human, and that's not easy. And shadow work sucks, y'all. Who likes owning their flaws? I'll take Woody Allen films for 1,000, Alex of blessed memory. Who are the Jews? We're supposed to keep a slip of paper in each pocket, one that says, the whole world was created for me, and the other that says, I am but dust and ashes. That's balance. That's integrating your shadow. Judaism grounds us. We're never so safe and so proud and so great that we forget at any moment it could all go belly up. Supposedly, acceptance of our own foibles makes it easier to accept others. Your mileage may vary based on any given day. It's a very rabbinical point of view to assume the best intentions at all times. Say someone cuts you off. They're weaving in and out of traffic. Instead of yelling at them, you assume that they're on their way to the hospital, and you pray for Hashem to bring them speedy healing. You're kinder to others when you acknowledge that they may be dragging around the same amount of baggage, or God forbid, more, than you're lugging behind you. What if, instead of dragging around your shadow golem, you could empower it to carry you? Play around with a candle, but be safe and don't use the Hanukkah candles. They're only to look at. And notice the shadow. What happens to make it grow? What happens to make it shrink? As you integrate those parts of you that were or are distasteful, you'll notice your light begin to grow. On day 2, we looked at fear and we examined how acknowledging it is the key to turning it from a stumbling block to a stepping stool. Now, it's outside my purview to walk you through shadow work, but I highly encourage you to do so. As you work to begin to make friends with your shadow, you'll find more power and more compassion. As you unify yourself, you'll automatically find yourself closer to others and nearer to the divine. Let 2021 be the year your shadow joins the light.